Team Jolynn, how you guys doing? I've got Jolynn, Riley, and Peyton, and we are doing Audi. Let's go ahead and take a look. I've got your, let me see. I've got the click through, and I've also got the process book. So let's go ahead and start with the process book. Cover looks fantastic. Table of contents looking good. A little out of balance here, guys. I might consider moving this over into the composition. I want to talk about balance as well in the banner area, I'm sorry, the footer area. Right now, you've got this really large rim CAD right here, and that's fantastic for doing some branding. And I also see that you're putting the page number, the folio, on that side of the page as well. The problem, I think, is that I think that the weight of rim CAD is kind of forcing you to push that logo over to the right. I think this logo should be centered in the bottom. And let's go to a page with a folio. Okay, so what I would suggest is I would take the rim CAD and I would reduce the size of that, because right now it's competing with Audi for hierarchy and with the Audi logo. And since this is a presentation through RimCAD for the Audi presentation, I would recommend that we keep the Audi centered in the bottom, the Audi logo, and we take the RimCAD and reduce the size and just place it right down here. Okay, then you can keep your folio right there. I think the folio is really hard to read. You might consider either increasing the scale of the font for the folio and maybe even using white on that, pure white. Right now it looks like silver. Okay, problem analysis. I think you guys did a really good job on this, but my only question is there's process of yeah, there's only one word in here that's throwing us off a little bit. The ultimate problem we as a team are looking to solve is the process. You got it. The process of purchasing a car, but not owning a car. We're not trying to do anything about with the process of owning a car. Presumably that process is, there's no problems there. Once we own the car, I mean, I think we're pretty much smooth sailing. We're addressing the issues that aren't catering to the needs of the purchaser in the industry itself. So this first sentence is perfect, except I would not include owning a new vehicle. And then this is a good description. So excellent. So you're kind of introducing human-centered design here and design thinking by almost introducing the fact that this is not a human-centered process, the car buying process. So that's excellent. Addressing the problem. This is fantastic too. Now I'm going to recommend that we add a page. And I'm going to talk about that in 1 second. So I think that it wouldn't be here. So addressing the problem. No, let's go ahead. So yeah, introduce the sketches. This is fantastic. You know, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind. For you guys, as you know, I'm kind of gearing these critiques towards your student portfolios. If in the case this piece makes it into your final student portfolio. And I'm anticipating things that might come up in a portfolio review or in this ultimate situation where you're in an interview for a position in the design industry, and the interviewer is going through your process book here for this example, and I'm trying to make things as specifically clear as possible. For that reason, I'd say on your sketch pages, you might take just a little bit of the descriptions you have here and just write them out. You know, just a little paragraph, add a little paragraph and describe what's going on in each sketch. Initial ideas mockups. I talked about this in the last, this has some really strange formatting here, guys. This one's they're not consistent. Okay, they're not lined up either. So we've got the Riley is lined up. I would get these gridded out so that they're really readable and they're also formatted, I should say formatted consistently. So we want the one, but you want to push this in and you want to create that left margin, not where the one is. So these subsequent lines of type aren't going to align with the one. They're going to align with the C and check in, okay? Do you see what I'm saying? So that we don't have this kind of unusual situation here where we're jumping back to one, setting that margin. So we have 1, 2, and 3 outside the margin, and then in the left margin would start all of the text would be aligned. Same thing here. Not unlike what you have here, guys. So yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, innovative design thinking. This is excellent. Now, this is the part where I want to get into what are we doing? This the innovative design solution and the changing the situation. So basically, you guys, you've thought this out. It's really wonderful what you're doing. But what I would recommend is adding a page or even adding more text to the changing the situation page. And what I would do is, and I've been recommending this, and again, this points to the clarity of presentation for a potential portfolio reviewer and, of course, for a hiring professional when that time comes. And what I would say is, I would say, let's take this changing the situation and innovative design thinking, and maybe just add a page to it or something. I don't know if it's going to be a different title or whatever, but what I would like you to do is just describe the process from A to Z. Okay, start at the very beginning. Okay, so the individual, the car buying individual is thinking about buying an Audi. So they download the app. They download the app and they configure their car from the app, or they go into the dealership and configure the car from the kiosk. If they download from the app, they can send the information to the dealership. Dealership sends them back a code, then a code. Then when they're ready to go into the dealership, they just enter the code, and their car gets pulled up in VR or in a holographic projection or whatever, right? The customer then looks around the car at full size, inside, outside, checks all the customization they've done, and is able to make some changes. At that point, once they accept that car, they can print a report and as you said, and send it to the salesperson or the finance person, or they can just send it right to from the configurator, from the projection screen or the VR screen. Once they've seen their car, they can send that information to, like you have in your prototype, to the drive simulator. Okay, then they can change road conditions in the drive simulator. They can change the tires on their car. They can change how the car would perform, let's say, in 10 years at 100,000 miles, right? And then they can go, and don't forget to add in the configurator. You also have access to a financial calculator, is where you can figure out the percentage of your monthly income that goes to your car. You can figure out what the resale value is with X amount of miles in X amount of time. Okay, and this is all just your written story. Then you send it to your information when you're all done. You've looked at the holographic or the VR projection. You send it to the drive simulator. You send it. You drive in different road conditions. Blah blah blah. You accept the drive. Then you talk to the salespeople. You send your report. You've got your report. So I just want to see a page where you describe the entire scenario. I'm not talking about a persona scenario. I'm talking about a complete scenario. Okay, just to really describe to the viewer exactly what you guys envision the process to be. I just noticed something here. Typographically, you got some inconsistencies here. These don't have indents. And then we come down here. These have indents. You don't need indents. You're not trying to demarcate a new paragraph. So we don't need, these are only one paragraph pages. So don't need an indent there. Watch your rags here, guys. Remember, short, long, short, long. These rags here are pretty good. These are perfect rags here. From this point down, these are perfect rags. You don't want these kind of patterns, wavy patterns. Just think back to your typography. Okay, the personas are great, but I think we need a little bit more variety in the personas. I think we've got Alex as a mom. Is she married? She's married with 3 children. And then we have not married, no children, and married. Okay, that's good. Now, 3 children, works downtown. See, I think Max is too young. I do. We have Alex at 40, 3 children, married. We've got Jenny at 30, no children and married. Excellent. And then we've got Max, who's 24. So we need somebody older in here. We need maybe senior, a senior citizen couple that is maybe purchasing their retirement vehicle or something like that. Yeah, I just think we need a little bit of variety in the demographics for the personas here, and I think Max is probably the one that I would recommend replacing with maybe a senior citizen couple, fixed income. No kids, probably in their final destination in terms of their residence. So both retired, right? So let's try to work that in there. I think that would help diversify the personas. Final sketches, great, good job. Paper prototypes, excellent. Don't need the indent. User testing analysis, this is great. What about the user testing results? Do we need a page of user testing results based on the analysis questions? got your testing images. That's fantastic. Then we go straight to our digital wireframes. And then we go straight to citation. Now, I definitely would recommend a summary page. Okay, other than that, I think this is really, really good. Now, this is where it gets good, guys. I'm going to go ahead and tell you this. You guys, this is just fan. This is really excellent work right here. I mean, this is outstanding. And I got to tell you, this class, I teach this class a lot, and I think that we're kind of gifted in this particular section. We're gifted with a really, really unique group. You guys are doing great. All the teams are doing great. I'm just really blown away at the level of quality that we're achieving here. This, of course, guys, Team Jolynn, Riley, Peyton, Jolynn, give yourselves a great big pat on the back because this is exceptional work. Let's get started. Okay, let's get started by getting started. Excellent. Okay, so we have our questionnaire. Submit, and then we can go up to let's start with a questionnaire, and then that goes through. This is great, perfectly functional. I love this. It's so cool. Submit. Okay, based on your questionnaire, here are a few options we think will work for you. I would maybe even give a little summary here of your options. But this is excellent. This is exactly what we're envisioning here, guys. This is so good. Okay, so here's our vehicle. Start customization. Let's do it. Okay, so we can pick the exterior color, interior, exterior finish, interior. Okay, now it's important to note at this point, there would of course be many, many, many more options and features available for this vehicle, right? So we could get roof racks, we could get trim on the side, different bumper packages, headlight protectors, different wheel packages. But I think this is enough for the viewer to get the idea of how to configure. Okay, so I'm not going to recommend that we add more pages. Ultimately, the final would have more pages, right? So, but I think that we definitely get the idea here. So then we have our, okay, so that is, that's right. Okay, then we have our seasonal packages. Let's pick this one. Then we have our motor packages, our engine packages. This is so good, guys. All right, and we can select this, we can select this, we can select this. And again, just an example like this, it shows the work, the user flow. That's excellent. Submit, and there's your automobile. It's got all of your features right there. Get quote. This is so good, guys. And then you can either just go straight to the loan officer or test drive. Now, this right here, test drive my Q7, I would say virtual test drive, because right now this is kind of unclear. Is this saying that I'm going to go and test drive a model off the lot? I would say that. So if you're going to request a loan officer or a salesperson, that I would say that would categorize a physical test drive. But this should just go straight to the simulator. Okay, so you send a salesperson test drive on the simulator or an actual test drive, request an actual test drive. I think that the test drive in the simulator is cool because then you can actually see the interior of your car. You've got the goggles on, right? This is so good. I don't know where you guys found this image, but this is a home run. There's the simulator. There's the little hydraulics to it to simulate the ride. There's the headset. You get in there and you're in your car and you can you simulate the road conditions, everything. This is great, guys. Okay, take a seat in your car. Be able to check out the interior you've chosen up close and personal. If everything looks good, test out your Audi selection on multiple terrains and make sure this car is right for you. You got it. I'm ready. Yeah, sure. All right. Your car is waiting for you in seat six. This is so good, guys. I'm sorry. I get excited when students just nail this. I get really excited, and I am excited. I love this. Request a loan officer. Then we go to there. You go. Setting plan of your own up. Guys, this is a home run. You nailed this. Excellent, excellent work. So, just a few comments. This is good. This is great. No, I don't have any recommended changes here. I think this is fantastic. Then over here we have just my little minor changes here. Okay, I'm almost at 15 minutes, so I'm going to cut it short. But fantastic job, guys. Okay, it's Saturday morning, and this is due tomorrow, of course. So I think if you guys have any questions at all before final submission, just drop me a quick line. I'll be in tomorrow morning. I'm going to be out most of today, Saturday, but I will get it. I'll check my emails. If you guys have any questions at all while you're preparing your final presentation, please let me know. I'll be glad to clarify anything that happens to come up. All right, great job, guys. Thank you very much.